We're off.
Hello guys, we're going to have a look at a little bit of repointing some brickwork today. As you can see, the wall's already been pointed. Now there is a difference between pointing and jointing. Jointing usually takes place as the work proceeds, but on occasion, as the mortar deteriorates over a number of years, we very often have to repoint. We have a selection of tools here. A 4-inch bolster, a 2-inch bolster, a brick hammer, a lump hammer, and a plugging chisel. We'll take the small 2-inch bolster and use the lump hammer, but before we start, we ensure that we've got the correct PPE. It's important to wear spectacles because as you're chipping mortar out, you avoid anything going into your eyes, and to help protect your hands, it's important to wear gloves to stop any abrasion or cuts if you slip with the hammer. And it's there to protect your hands and your skin. I've already raked a little bit out, and now we're just going to chop it out with the small bolster. And it's very likely, what you're trying to avoid is not to damage the brick around the mortar joint. You shouldn't rake out no deeper than about 15 millimetres, because that will be a little bit detrimental to the wall. So as long as we're between 10 and 15 millimetres,
Hold it there. Hold it.
and we just simply cut the joint away. I'm using the 2-inch bolster here, but I'll then show you using a plugging chisel. Exactly the same process, very gently, or enough pressure as needed to remove the mortar from the joint. Scrape it out to the depth. We'll do a few more. Oops. Once you've removed all the mortar that needs to be removed in the area you need to repoint, it is then important to remove any excess dust because you want the new mortar to adhere properly. So take a dry brush, sweep any excess dust away, and then we'll use a wet brush which will remove the greater part of the dust, and it will give a good bedding for adhesion for the new mortar to stick to the joint. There we go. You can also use your brick hammer for awkward places, and you just simply, same process, just chip away until you've reached the required depth. Wet brush, and you're good to go. We're going to use now what's called a pointing trowel. It's called a pointing trowel for one reason really, because you only generally use the point of the trowel. You don't use the heel, it's just the point. You could put it on the front of the trowel if you wish, pat it down to a beef burger size really, but the trouble with placing it on the front of the trowel is it's very difficult to take from either side. So it's better to place it on the back of the trowel, pat it down to your required depth, and then it's then easy to take from the point and easy to take from that side. It's also a good idea to pat it down because when you fill the joint, in order to clean your trowel, just wipe it and then the trowel becomes clean. You always fill the cross joints first, because with pointing you're trying to obtain an uninterrupted bed joint. So always do your cross joints first and just push the mortar in until you feel that the joint has been completely filled. Always wipe so you've got a clean trowel to start with. what you're also trying to avoid is to avoid smudging the surrounding bricks to the mortar you're trying to refill. And it's exactly the same process for the bed joint. If you notice, I'm only using the very point of the trowel, not the heel.